Hey, Stu.
Hey, how's it going, Michael?
How's it going?
Good. I'm very red today.
I got sunburned over the weekend, but just my back.
Yeah, we went out on the boat last night on the lake, and I got burnt, but I didn't. It's not that bad. I think the lighting in here makes it worse, so I've got to figure out how to have better lighting in this room so that I don't look so orange.
Where'd you guys take the boat?
We were up to Ryrie.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
When we go boating, we usually either up to American Falls or Palisades.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think what I'm going to do is go straight for the first 45 minutes on Mimic Pro.
Okay.
And then from there, I'll jump into Mimic Social. I'll take a minute break or so to get my give my mouth a rest.
Take a drink.
Yep. All right, Wahib, when you're ready, I'm ready to go live.
Sure. Just one request to it. At the end of the webinar, if you could just let them know to take the survey, I'll be sharing a link on the chat.
Yes, and Michael, if I forget, don't forget to remind them, okay?
I will remind the both of you. Thank you.
Hey, everyone. We're going to give everyone a few more minutes to arrive. It's good to be with you today. Let's check. I'm going to try to keep everyone fully engaged today and talking with me on this webinar. So if you will, please go ahead and chat in. Tell us where you're coming to us from today. And let's see. And your favorite food to eat. I'm interested. So let's hear where you're from and a favorite food you enjoy eating. Claudia from Rome, Italy says pasta, of course. Rafael in Mexico City, good morning to you. This is Wissam from Lebanon, Middle East, and he likes Italian food. Dean or Dene from Singapore, Laksa, Mexico, Sarasota, New York, India. Davina likes Thai food. Samir likes churrasco. Dean is the same as Dean. Got it. Got my pronunciation right there. If I mispronounce your name today, please forgive me. I try my best, but with so many different languages represented, it's very hard. Najwa from Lebanon likes Japanese food. I enjoy sushi from Japan. I love their sushi. Okay, and Shingi says their favorite food is sushi and ceviche. Ceviche is, I think it's a Mexican dish. Maybe it's just a Latin American dish of seafood that's delicious. Peruvian. Okay, there you go. It's from Peru. All right. I lived in Argentina for a couple of years, and ceviche was not something that they ate down in Argentina. They should have made it down there as well, but none of that. Valeria Sanchez from Chile. I was just across the mountains from Chile in Mendoza, Argentina, Valeria. So fun that we were so close together. All right. Well, thank you guys. It's fun to talk and catch up and get to know you a little bit better that way. I'd love to keep up and catch up with you more on LinkedIn. So feel free to connect there. Today, we're going to first run through Mimic Pro, the pay-per-click advertising simulation. Quite a few of the participants have now joined. So we'll get started on that. But before, I wanted to quickly let you guys know and invite you. We have a free conference that we're putting on tomorrow. It's not like a course by any means. We've brought speakers to you from great brands. Buffer is a leading social media marketing tool. Their digital marketing strategist, Brian Peters, will be speaking. We also have Marina Radovich from SEMrush, the leading search engine optimization tool, speaking with us. Dennis Yu has consulted with Facebook. He worked at Yahoo. He'll be speaking from Blitzmetrics. So if you go to StuKent.com, there's a StuKent Digital Summit. You'll see an advertisement on our website for that. It's free. I'd love for you to come and join us on that if you're anxious to get more information and information from the trenches. Some of the content is created and will be dedicated to helping professors and instructors that want to do a better job of teaching digital marketing. But for those of you that are interested in just learning more about digital marketing, there's plenty of content for that subject as well. So when you get to that landing page, you'll be able to see, and I'll just chat it over so everyone can have it here. There's a link to go and register if you'd like to join us for that free one-day virtual conference tomorrow. All right. So in Mimic Pro, how are things going so far? Here's what I want you to do. Chat in at 1 out of 10 how well you feel you're doing and how well you're learning from Mimic Pro. All right, we got some 9.5 and 8. How would you rate yourself? We got a 7, 5, 8, 7. Okay, cool. 8 and improving. That's what I like to hear, Raphael. Claudia says, doing only a 2, learning a 10. I like that. This today will be a good review for those of you that have already gone far into the simulation. And for those of you that are still working through it, it's a good chance for you to gain ideas for how to go and improve things over time. So yes, if you do feel like you're learning and figuring things out still, no sweat. That's what we're here for, and that's why we're going to recap and review today. We'll take until about 8:45 to cover this, and then we'll jump over and I'm going to introduce to you Mimic Social, our social media marketing simulation, and talk a little bit about social media marketing. So Natalie, thank you for telling me it's a great learning platform. I appreciate that vote of confidence. We are trying to quickly improve and advance and try and keep up with Google Ads and the new changes they're making. Okay, one more little bit of participation before I just start talking and sharing a bunch of my own information to you. What specific questions did you come to class with today? Are there specific things you want to make sure that you get answered? Because I want to make sure that I cover those things in my discussion. And maybe you're like, well, I didn't come with any questions. I just want to know, I just want you to teach me whatever I'm supposed to know that I don't even know I should know. Okay, perfecting email marketing. How do you do YouTube advertising? How do we know where we went wrong or how to do that, how to fix things? Okay, are the previous rounds still running when I start my next round? That's another good question. Okay, so let's tackle these one at a time, and then I'll get into some things in more of a flow and order, but I want to kind of answer some of these questions on the fly here. I think it'll be fun to take this approach for a minute. So Ajay asks, how does YouTube advertising work? The simulation doesn't teach that. So let's go and look at YouTube advertising for just a minute. And I'll talk about how to buy ad space on YouTube. All right. So when you go to YouTube, there is an ad in the upper fold. YouTube TV, so they're advertising in their own space right now, right? So this ad in the upper fold is a mix of Stars and YouTube. They're doing some sort of a collaboration or joint effort here buying this ad space. This banner is a very expensive banner. To have this placement is very expensive. You would buy this through the DoubleClick network, okay? So to get this space, you'd most likely be also working with a salesperson at YouTube because the cost is so high that you don't just get this space like you do the rest of the advertisement space on YouTube. So my kids and I, we enjoy watching a YouTube channel called Dude Perfect. They have all sorts of silly videos of them doing trick shots of different things. Let's click into one real quick so I can show you an ad. Okay, so at the beginning, before my video plays, audiooffers.com is running an ad. If I click here, it'll take me to audiooffers.com's landing page. And in this case, with this specific video, YouTube is giving me the option as a user to skip the ad. Different publishers with different videos have the ability to say what type of ads they want to display. And if you're a very high-end content creator on YouTube, then you have the ability to go in and say, I only want to show ads that require they watch the whole ad. And if you create good enough content, you can get away with that. A lot of advertisers have decided to write just short ads that only last 5 seconds so that the ad cannot be skipped. Geico played around with different 5-second ads. That's a fun thing to go Google and watch and see what they've done. Ping pong trick shots is something that is obviously popular. It has 152 million views on this video. And not only is Dude Perfect able to make money for every time that this ad displays, but they also are paid by Oreo Cookies to run this video. So Oreo Cookies teams up with them and says, hey, we'll pay you guys to do this video on our behalf and include our content in the video. So I know the video won't play very well through to you guys. I'm just going to skip forward and see if I can find a spot in the video where it shows Oreo. Because they have 33 million subscribers, they're able to get brands like Oreo to come to them and say, hey, we'd like to do a video with you guys, and we'll do a paid placement here. That's the Oreo Dunk Challenge. So some content creators have gotten really good. They've been able to find ways to build up such a following that big brands like Oreo, a very famous worldwide cookie, to sponsor their video. So that it's a great thing what these guys have going for them, and they're a fun brand to watch. They create content like crazy, and as you'll see, every time they get views in the millions. Building your subscriber base on YouTube, obviously going to help in getting those views, because every time they create a new video, 33 million people have the chance to be notified that they have created a new video. So if you're trying to build a following on YouTube, if you're trying to do stuff with YouTube, go and build your subscriber base, because it will then in turn build your number of views per video. So that is how YouTube advertising works. You go to buy this ad space on the Google Ads network, and you can upload your video content and then select where you would like that to display. So if you just go to Google, type in Google Ads, create your Google account, there's a path to go get started. And that, my friends, is a brief overview of YouTube advertising. One thing I will add is that YouTube ads are generating about $2,000 for every 1 million views that you get. So you are not going to start making a lot of money creating YouTube videos until you've been at it for a long time and built a following to justify Google and YouTube paying you. By the way, if you didn't know that, YouTube is owned by Google, and they're obviously working together. And if you're being paid by YouTube, you're also in turn being paid by Google. Okay, so a lot of new questions coming in here. We will get to email marketing, Irene, in a little bit, so I'll answer your question when we get there. Let's see if there are other questions that relate to things outside the simulation before I jump in. Looks like most everything. Okay, Irene asks a question as it relates to targeting an ad geographically. In the Google Ads platform, at the campaign level, when you create a campaign, you can select what geographic location you want to target. If you only want your ads to run in India, then Google allows you to do that. And you set that up at the campaign level. Within the Mimic Pro simulation, we don't have that functionality of simulating running targeting ads geographically. But it is a very powerful tool for a lot of businesses, especially small local businesses, because you can target down to a neighborhood within a city. All right, I'll get into bidding and talk about that and structuring campaigns. All right, I'm going to talk about structuring campaigns for a second outside of the simulation. And then I'll jump in. Okay, let's see. Let's say I'm looking for something like black earbuds. Let's go black headphones. I need to find a better example. That's not working for me. Black and white headphones. Long cord. Let's see. Okay, so here's an example that works really well. If I do a search as a user for black and white headphones with a long cord, I'm able to find an ad here that says headphone with long cord. Amazon.com has done a good job with this ad because the long cord is something I'm specifically looking for. I'm also looking for headphones, so they've done a good job there. They didn't include colors in this ad. The reason that structure of your campaign is so important, because that's how you're able to specifically include the details that people are searching in your ad. Okay, so if you want to structure your campaign, you want to think about what different types of things people are searching for and have ads that are dedicated to that specific search, because the more relevant your search is, the higher your chance for clicks becomes. Okay, so if someone had black and white headphones with a long cord, that ad would beat Amazon's ad and most likely get more clicks. So that's why structure is important and how to think about it. It's what are people searching, and based on what they're searching, how am I going to give them that? If I have a keyword for black and white headphones, then my ad that has black and white headphones in the ad is going to match and perform better than the other ads that don't give that same level of relevancy. Okay, so that's the way to think about it. Now let's dig into Mimic Pro and let's talk through how we analyze our results and decide which ones are going to be best for us. Okay. As soon as you land after you finish a round, Jose Velasco, thanks for letting us use your account here for a minute. We are going to review the scoreboard results. This gives you a chance to see how you're stacking up against the class on a few different categories. Okay. This is just fun for kind of seeing where you stand in the mix of everyone else. By rank, you can see each player and how each player is performing and where you stand in the mix. Okay. So other competitors may be further along. As of round 3, this is where everyone was currently standing. If I click on the ads tab, I can see how many impressions I'm getting compared to everyone else. And then I can look at a variety of other categories to see how I'm doing compared to everyone else. This isn't exactly real world data here. This is more for the learning experience, right? Because you're not going to have all of your competitors number of ad clicks and ad conversions. There are tools for looking into your competitors. So, and actually quite a few of them. So maybe Michael, if you don't mind, could share some of your ad competitor tools that you guys use at Perfect Point.
Yeah.
I'll keep going here. So after you've reviewed the scoreboard and the different things here for fun, go back to the decisions tab. And the next step is to review your campaign performance for round 3. That brings you to the pay-per-click dashboard. And here you're able to see how each of your campaigns did. Right? At the campaign level, you can look and you can see that, okay, for this specific round, the Simulation 3 campaign is where most of the budget is going. In turn, most of the impressions are going there. A lot of the clicks are going there. With an average position of 2.49, that may be an ad that's getting buried a little bit and maybe causing a lower click-through rate. At 2.51, we could improve, maybe adjusting bids, maybe improving ad quality. Those are some things that we can look at a very high level here, the campaign level. He's getting a very low average cost per click at 48 cents, which is helpful. The total cost here is $986. Okay, the budget allocated was $3,700, but it's only costing him $986. When that's happening, you want to quickly decide, okay, maybe I only need to allocate $1,000 to this campaign, and now I have $2,700 more dollars to go and allocate to other campaigns. $2,700 can go a long way. So finding other products to sell and launching those campaigns is something that right away at a top level, a suggestion we can make based on that one data point. So if the total cost is much lower than the total budget, you'll want to adjust down that budget and then go find new places to allocate that additional budget that you still have to spend. Conversion rate at 3.87%, we can still improve there. What are some ways that we can improve conversion rate? Before I am the one giving everyone the answer here, let's talk through that. Tell me, what are some things that we can do to improve the conversion rate here to help Jose out? Just based on the data we have here, is there anything we can know? Maybe it's going to take more than just this data to get the answer. Vivian says landing page relevance is going to be important. So we can go dive deeper now and go look at the landing pages and decide, right? And Natalie says aligning the ad with the landing page, improve the ad quality. So if the ad quality goes up, then people are already a little more trusting. Their mindset has improved when they get to the landing page. So that's, again, something that could improve conversion rate. Samir says a better call to action, both in the landing page and the ad. Yes, Samir, that's a great point. And then Vivian says keywords. So if you have keywords where your ad isn't very relevant, then when they land on your landing page, they don't get what they need, and so they don't buy. So that's another great point. Volkmar asks, instead of using the surplus budget of other campaigns, can I also spend more on the keywords? Yes, you could up your cost per click to see if that improves things. Where the budget allocated is almost 3 times what the actual spend is, I wouldn't recommend that you triple what you're willing to pay per click for those keywords. I'd go find additional keywords to improve, rather than try to just spend more on that one campaign on the same keywords. There's definitely other good keywords out there where you can get sales. So I'd go and expand in that way. Great question, Wolfman. All right. If I click to the ad groups level, I can now see all of my ad groups here. And so if I want to get more specific, I can click Simulation 3 and analyze the ad groups within this campaign. Since most of the budget's going here right now, I'm going to go through and analyze this. Let's look at the GoPro New. Well, actually, before I get into, here's how I pick where I want to spend my time focusing when I'm optimizing an account. I want to look at the total number of impressions and where we're spending the most money. So I can sort by different columns, like average cost per click, total cost. In this case, I want to look at the total cost. A lot of our budget is going to this GoPro ad group. And there's 41,000 impressions going here, 1,080 clicks, an average position of 1.82. That's not too bad. The average cost per click is 49 cents, and the default CPC is 50 cents. What that means is that most of the time, the search engine is charging the full amount of what I have set my default bid to. So in that case, it's maybe worth testing in adjusting up my default cost per click bid for this ad group. And I can go look at the keyword level and dive deeper here, which we'll do in a second. This one has the highest conversion rate at 4.32. There may be additional keywords we could add here that are going to increase the amount of volume of clicks and conversions that we can get with the GoPro New campaign. There are some positive things happening here. The biggest positive thing here is it's a very low cost per acquisition. But look at this, even though we're paying a lower cost per acquisition with GoPro, we have a better return on ad spend at a higher cost per acquisition with Fujifilm, right? And the reason that's happening is because the margin on that product is better. And if you're going, well, how do I remember what the margins were on the different products? If you click jump to and you click product catalog, so mouse up, jump to, click product catalog. From there, you're able to go in and see your products and what the margins are on each of them. So I do recommend that you go in and spend some time on that. Okay, so let's dive deeper into the ad group level. I can click ad group on that and see the ads that are associated here with the simulation campaign GoPro New ad group. Can see which ads are, how each individual ad is performing, and decide where I want to spend my time. So if I look at improving things, so if I look through here by click-through rate, my best performing ad is a 3.4% click-through rate. That's not bad. It can be improved, but it's not bad. And that says new GoPro 5 session on sale, $299.99, new digital camera, ultimate combination of performance and simplicity. So he's improved GoPro 5 in his URL for the display URL. He improved GoPro 5 in the headline. It's here in the actual destination URL. He's got it associated properly there, doing a lot of things right with the ad. So good work there. Let's see, only one conversion out of 1,000 impressions, but only 45 clicks. So right now, this ad is tied to only a few keywords, I'm guessing. Let's go look and see. All right, actually, there's quite a few keywords associated here. When I look at the keywords here, I can see that there's some disassociation from the actual product and the product we're talking about in the ad and the actual keywords associated. There's some testing he's trying here, seeing if waterproof camera can do well in a GoPro 5 ad. The more specific you can get, this is again back to structure, right? If you're not including waterproof in the ad, then you may want to create another ad group specifically for the underwater and waterproof keywords and take that approach with that. So, so that's something that I recommend revisiting here, and something that you can go and see for yourself and try different things. You'll see that your relevance goes up. That'll improve your ad quality. And in turn, you can get sometimes lower cost per clicks because you are more organized in that regard. Watch for misspellings like GoPro instead of GoPro. That can affect your ad's ability to perform as well. If you need to adjust your ad, in case you didn't catch it, there's a pencil here. Click that, and from there you're able to go in and edit the content in your ad. You do that here. Click into this space, and you can make those adjustments. Okay, let's dive deeper. We're going to go look at. I'll save that. I didn't really change it anyways. If I click the keywords tab, I'm able to dive deeper here and look at which keywords are running. There's a lot of paused keywords that didn't run in this round that ran in previous rounds. So in that case, you'll want to say, okay, if I'm not going to include these ads, these keywords here, then do I need to just start fresh with an entirely new ad group? Or can I keep working this? Is there still some opportunity here? When I look at the individual keywords here, I can click through, sort by click-through rate. The best click-through rate is 3.5. Lowest click-through rate is 1.69 in an ad group where the keyword isn't associated properly with the ad. So that organizational structure, really important. I recommend going through, reviewing that structure and getting it right. If you didn't yet, take time, go look at the Insights tab. You'll see here that we have different things we're measuring: ad quality, the landing page, if the landing page is relevant to the keywords. So some of that stuff is something you can learn by mousing over these here. Look through and review this as well. If you aren't happy with your average position, adjust bid, adjust the content in your ad. Not right here, it's telling us that page quality is okay and ad quality is okay. But definitely, as we saw, there's still room for improvement. And so there's nothing that's stopping the ad from running, so you're not seeing any warnings here. Okay. So that's a quick overview of what I do when I'm going and looking at how to improve an ad campaign at a high level. Another thing that you can try doing is going in and selecting the content, throwing it into Excel, and doing some sorting that way. There's plenty of ways you can sort and filter within the platform, but also helpful to go and try and play around with it in Excel. A lot of the best pay-per-click advertisers are very good with Excel. They know how to create pivot tables and try different things to organize and structure things better. All right, I've got a lot of questions here, so I'm going to go back in here and answer some questions that have come through. Soledad says, can I delete campaigns or landing pages? So if you click on a keyword, you can remove it, pause it, or activate it using the Actions tab. So at the campaign level, if I click there, you don't have the ability to, let me see here, I'm going to go to all campaigns. You can mouse over and you can choose to activate or pause a campaign, but you can't just simply delete the entire campaign. It's just paused, and that allows you to keep the data that exists from previous rounds, so you can go review it if you need to. But it's not, and it's part of what allows us to keep the grades for each round. So it's a hard feature to duplicate exactly like it is in the Google Ads platform. You can totally delete a campaign in Google Ads. I don't recommend doing it because by pausing it, you've done everything you need to do to still have that data. So next question. Which tools, I think I missed it. Which tool can we use to make keywords research? So within the platform, if you click jump to, there is the Ad Campaigns tab here. And if you want to add more keywords, you click the Keywords tab. And all right, now I'm lost. Give me a second, click into the jump to section. I'm lost in my own platform. Click to make your ad campaigns, click new campaign, and then as you go through this process, that's going to get you to the point where you can go and do more keyword research. Okay, so I'm not going to go mess with Jose's account, so forgive me for that. It appears there's no quick, easy way for me to go and show you doing keyword research within the platform. As far as tools outside the platform, you guys, there's a lot of great tools. I'm going to chat a couple over to you right now to go check out. semrush.com. It's a great tool. And I think Michael, did you share a couple as well already? Okay, so Michael's sharing a few more there that you can check out. SpyFu is a great one. It's one I've used for probably a decade now. Long time. So let's see. Caroline asks, can for a next round just allocate more budget to the best performing ad? Yeah, so you can do that. Here's the thing you'll run into by just allocating more budget. So if your budget is running out and you're spending all of your money, then all you have to do is allocate more budget, and Google will show your ad more often. And by showing your ad more often, you will get more clicks and you'll spend more budget. But if your best performing ad isn't spending all of its budget, then you can't just throw more money at it and hope that it gets more sales without going and adding more keywords where you're going to be able to get more impressions, which in turn is going to give you more clicks and more sales, right? So yes, you can find a best performing ad, but and throw more budget at it. But if you do that, you need to also go get more keywords, which at that point, you probably are going to want to find additional ads to match the relevancy for those keywords. Great question there. Alan says if he selects the brand URL, his click-through rate will improve. Alan, that is an interesting insight. Maybe for your own instance with your own campaigns that you've created, you've found that the brand URL, that landing page, performs well and you're getting a good conversion rate. I like your thinking in that it might be worth testing switching from the specific GoPro Hero 5 landing page to a brand specific landing page. Here's what's nice about brand. You can get a little more lazy because you can make your ad more broad and you can include broader keywords where you get more impressions because more people are searching. You'll find that your conversion rates go down in that case, but the total number of conversions can be higher sometimes. So here's an important lesson that I'd hope that you can take away from you reviewing the data and learning from the data. Just because you're not performing as well on one specific metric doesn't mean overall it's not a very profitable approach that you're taking. Okay, so just because your click-through rate isn't as high, if you're getting thousands and thousands of clicks, you're still going to get sales. So driving that traffic, especially if it's at a low cost per click, even if it's a low click-through rate for your ad, it's still not a bad place to be. Now it's just time to go and see what you can do to get more clicks for those keywords. So I do recommend that you look for ways to improve and not worry so much about one specific metric. Look at the overall, what's driving the sales. And that may be going a little bit more broad and changing your focus. Vivian asks, is there any benefit of including GoPro Hero 4 keywords as keywords in a GoPro Hero 5 campaign? Yes, Vivian, I think it depends on the goals of the landing page. If the goal of the landing page is, hey, you searched for the 4, but we have the 5 now and it's better, everyone's getting the 5 now, then that person could likely convert and buy the GoPro Hero 5. Also, a lot of times with websites, they'll include if GoPro Hero 5 isn't what you're looking for, here are other cameras from GoPro, and it might have the Hero 4 showing below. So what matters more than deciding to tell you that GoPro Hero 4 is the best is not a good keyword to include because it's irrelevant. We're selling the GoPro Hero 5. I would say what's on the landing page, what other messages are we sharing there, and take that approach. Claudia asks a question, is it better not to mention the price in the headline to encourage click-throughs? So every business is going to be strategic about when and where and how they share pricing. If you are very competitive in your price and you want to use price as a differentiating factor, then including it in your ad could be a good thing. But I'm of the opinion that most of the time you're better off to not compete on price and compete on other things that add value to the user to make them think less about price as the deciding factor of whether they're going to pick up your product. So good question, Claudia. There is no silver bullet, do include price, don't include price. But I feel like it's going to depend on you and your business and what you have in your landing page again as well there. Ki Xiang Wong asks the question, please advise what affects the average position. So ad quality, the relevance of the keywords in the ads are going to affect your average position. And the smaller the number, the better. Yes. So if you have an average position of 5, that would mean you're buried way at the bottom of the landing of the search results. If you're even on the first page, most likely you're not at that point. In fact, now, if you're not a top 2 or 3, you're just not getting your ad to display very often. So Michael, is that what you're seeing as well lately?
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely. The other thing that we see a lot of is something you don't really talk about, but the click-through rate that comes from ad extensions. So using a lot of ad extensions, the platform doesn't give you a ton of opportunities to add things like site links extensions or some of promotions and things like that. But making sure those are there, and it really improves performance.
Ad extensions, folks, for those that are unaware, I can show you here on the screen. If I search for Gap dresses, down here you can see the ad for gap.com. I'm trying to get just this to display. So this section that I'm highlighting right here, those are ad extensions. And in addition to being able to click the headline, I can click any of these sections. And so now instead of Gap having one link at the top of search results, they have multiple links at the top of the search results. So yeah, those click-through rates are definitely going to be better. Just because there's a lot of different places we're giving them a lot more options to click. Well done, Gap. Okay. We have just another minute or two here for questions on Mimic Pro. Samir asks, what is a good conversion rate and what is a good average position? So conversion rates vary by industry, and they'll vary by volume that you're dealing with as far as amount of traffic that you're sending. They'll also vary by B2B versus B2C. If you sell if you're in an industry where you're just generating leads for your sales team, for your business to business business, then you're going to find that that conversion rate may be much higher because they're not actually making a purchase. All they're doing is filling out a form saying, yes, I'm interested in talking to one of your sales team members, right? So that conversion rate, you may see conversion rates in the 10 to 15% range, maybe even the 10 to 20% range with your lead generating landing page. If it's to generate a sale and you're taking them all the way from interested searcher to website shopper to I got out my credit card and I filled out all the information and paid, that conversion rate is going to be much lower than a conversion rate on just filling out a form. So for e-commerce sites, I'm happy when I'm seeing between 3 and 7% conversion rates. And that's what we're simulating currently with Mimic Pro, is somewhere between 3 and 7%. In other cases, we're seeing something more like, okay, so here's an example. If you have a brand like, let me go back to that Gap example. That was a good one. Maybe I can go find it still. Okay. If I'm searching for Gap dresses and on the landing page, I can see, or on the search results page, I can see Gap offerings giving me exactly what I'm looking for. My chance of turning this searcher into a converting paying customer are much greater. So on branded terms, is what we call these, the actual conversion rate is much greater. And but it's just going to vary by industry. So you have to see where you're at and then work to improve from there. And that's, you basically set your own benchmark. As far as click-through rate, if we're getting between anything better than 2%, I'm pretty happy with. Anything below 2%, I'm working to optimize and improve. And if I'm seeing that all of my keywords are better than 2%, then I'm focusing in and trying to improve again from there. But it just depends again on the company. On branded terms, again, like with Gap dresses, I would expect the click-through rate on these ads to be much, much higher. Even you'll see 20 to 30% click-through rate, where 2 out of every, 2 to 3 out of every 10 people searching are actually clicking here rather than coming down and clicking here. So, all right, you guys, that's a wrap. I think I can be here. I can answer questions. I can show you some things in the simulation. The best thing I can do for you is give you the opportunity to get your hands dirty, play around with it, test and try different things, and you'll learn the most from that. Hopefully this experience today, talking through some things, opened your eyes, gave you some new things to test and try. I'm going to take about a 20 to 30 second break here, maybe a little longer, catch my breath, and then we'll jump in to Mimic Social. This session goes for another 40 minutes or so 42 minutes. So there should be plenty of time to cover Mimic Social here. All right. Before we dive right into Mimic Social and I show it off to you and show you how it works, let me first just kind of get your wheels turning on what's happening in social media today. In the US, Facebook is still the leading social media marketing network. Instagram right on its tail. If you didn't know, Instagram is owned by Facebook. So Facebook has, while it's definitely occurring and Facebook is seeing that an older generation is staying on Facebook, the younger generation has now left Facebook and they're using other platforms. The number one platform for that younger generation is Instagram. And these guys are spending a lot of time here. So, and Facebook gets to enjoy the benefits of that as well, because it's also one of their businesses. As you'll see, Instagram's desktop platform is very, very weak in comparison to their Facebook desktop platform. Not a lot going on. The mobile platform of Instagram is a much more user-friendly experience if you're not familiar. I would imagine most everyone is. Twitter is also obviously a very large platform. They all have their different uses, right? So people that are on Facebook are there to connect with family and friends. At least that's what used to happen. And now more and more it's become a place for sharing ideas and opinions and news and video content. There's a lot of different things happening here. And it's just one of those platforms that it's withstood the test of time. All sorts of different content appearing here. From a business perspective, when you are in the Facebook platform as a business, you have to remember that you are disrupting. Okay, with search engine marketing, you're not disrupting them. This is pull marketing. These guys searched for what you had to offer, and then you gave them exactly what they were looking for after they asked you for it. They came to you searching. When you're dealing with Facebook and you are sponsoring content like what is displaying right here in this section, you are disrupting their experience with their family and friends that they're having over here on this side. Okay. So as a business, as an online advertiser, you need to think about that and know that if you're going to succeed, you have to do a good job of distracting them, getting their attention, and pushing them to your platform. There are a lot of different ad formats on Facebook. There are ads within Facebook videos now. There are ads that display like this on the side. And there's other ads that display directly they look like a post within the content here. Okay. So depending on your business objectives will determine the type of Facebook ad that you want to go and create. So I'm a business owner, right? And so companies like Waze have ads for business owners. They want to sell me as a business owner. They want me to start advertising on their platform. So they've done a pretty good job of targeting me. They know my demographic. How do they know, you may ask? Well, there's different things that I've done over time, comments I've made, posts I've shared, information that they've gained over time that help them know that I am someone that would be interested in things related to business. So Cabbage said, apply online in minutes. A better way to fund your business. Get the security of funding up to $250,000, $250K. That means $250,000 in the US. So, and they're telling me that I can apply online in minutes. It's fast. These guys are not going to enjoy a very high click-through rate on this type of advertisement, but companies like this have big budget and they're looking to and they're willing to let their ad sit there and just get impressions for a long time before they get clicks. So just as a very general rule of thumb, it's not an entirely accurate statement what I'm about to say, but just so you have an idea, this type of a search ad or of a sponsored ad that's not in search, that's in social media, may see 1 in 1,000 people click as compared to 1 in 100 people clicking on a search ad. So the click-through rates are not nearly as high, but it doesn't matter because, again, Facebook has found a way with their ad platform to make it so that you're paying per click and they're charging you only for the traffic they're driving. Or you can set up other business objectives and say, no, I just want my ad to display. I don't care if I'm getting clicks or not. I only want my ad to display and I'll pay you just to keep showing my ad. So there's different things you can do in that regard. Let's see. I'm going to jump in. Let's look at Twitter for a second. If I scroll through Twitter, it shouldn't be long before I start to see my first ads here. Okay. So here you have Rexburg Jamba Juice. This is a business, but it's not an ad here, what I'm seeing. At some point, I've decided to follow Rexburg Jamba Juice. It's a local smoothie shop. This is not an ad. They don't have to pay to be here. It's free. On Facebook now, businesses do not get to display unless they are paying to play. It used to be that it was really good. Go grow your Facebook likes because then organically people will see your business in their news feed on Facebook. Not anymore. Unless you are paying to advertise, your ad will not display on Facebook. On Twitter, this is not an ad. This is just a post. And because I'm a follower, I get their business's information. So if you can grow your following on Twitter, you can get free traffic to your website because you have a presence, and that's enough. And Twitter is still able to show businesses in the news feed without paying to play. Not seeing a ton of sponsored content in here. Twitter has had a really hard time figuring out how to monetize their platform. And a lot of businesses are still able to get that reach organically, and they're not choosing to advertise. Okay. Scrolling, still not one ad has displayed. No sponsored content. So you can run ads on Twitter. You will see them. I think it's just happenstance that right now, today, I haven't seen any ads. It's good for you to have a following. So here's an example of that that's important to consider. As a business owner, if you can have influencers like Joel, let me open up Joel's profile here. So Joel has, let's see, he's tweeted 36,000 times. He has 8,000 followers. So when Joel launches a new website, he can tell everyone about it and everyone has a chance to see it. So this is a very powerful tool for him. He's going to get, he's had 32 other people share it on their profiles. A lot of traffic can be driven to casestudybuddy.com. Free traffic. He doesn't have to pay for it because he has a following on this platform. So finding influencers that are willing to share your content is very powerful. Sometimes you're hiring those people. Sometimes you're just influencing influencers and they're following you and they're willing to share your content. On Instagram, you can now do a few different types of advertisements, but you'll see again, like Twitter, that there's a lot of content that is just organic content. If I keep scrolling, I should see some business content here. Maybe I need to get on my news feed more often so that I see it. Okay, here's an example. So 1337 Photography Northwest, these guys sell their photography and they are wanting to get it shown and seen by other people for free. And so they go and they try to build their following on Instagram. They can post this content. There's no charge. They could choose to run an advertisement and say, you can buy this image, swipe up to see this image. And it may be that on the desktop platform, there's just not a lot of advertisement options yet for Instagram. Mobile, by now, if I'd kept scrolling, I would have started to see those. So these silly guys. Okay, here's one more example on Instagram of a business that's showing content. The Biz Ninja wife, she and her husband run a radio station called Biz Ninja in Los Angeles. They post content and they don't always just say, hey, come listen to our radio show. Here's a link to log in and listen to our radio show on our website. Instead, what they do is they give you content that engages you, that gets people talking and sharing, right? So here, she's just simply saying, this is my favorite movie. This allows her to keep growing that organic reach and engage her audience. And by doing that, she's preparing her audience for when she does have something that she wants them to go do, right? So not every single time that you post on social media do you want to go and post, buy this, do it today, order now. With social media marketing, it's different than that, right? So LinkedIn's another platform. Why am I showing all of this and talking about all this stuff for a minute, guys? The reason is this is what you're going to get to practice with Mimic Social. So on LinkedIn, if we scroll, we don't have to scroll very far before we start seeing promoted posts. So if you look right here, you can see it says promoted. Google Cloud is paying for this to show up in the newsfeed. So similar to Facebook, with LinkedIn, you can pay to have a post show up in the newsfeed. You can also create ads that display as promoted ads in the sidebar. In that case, you'll want to test different images, see which images perform better, test different headlines, see which ones perform better. LinkedIn can be a fantastic platform for those that are able to target specific people within a business. So for business to business advertising, it works really, really well. Because you can go to LinkedIn and say, I want to target a CEO in a business, and they need to work for a business that has over 50 employees. If they are a CEO with a business over 50 employees and they're in the USA, I want my ad to display to those people. So, or if you have a sales software, you can say, I want to target the vice president of sales of companies with over 1,000 employees. And you can, so that level of specificity within your social media marketing allows you to target and perform very well. Much higher cost per clicks here on LinkedIn. but because the targeting is better, you can still see a very good return on your ad spend. All right, so cool. So there's different content that's displaying here. I'm not going to spend any more time here in LinkedIn. I already talked a little bit about YouTube. You want your ad to distract people enough. Again, this is definitely push marketing. It's a lot like TV in that way. People aren't searching for you. They may be searching for like how to do something. And if your business has something that helps them do that thing, then you can create free content that ranks organically in the search results for like, let's say you sell dishwashers, right? How to fix a dishwasher. Maybe you have dishwasher parts. You can do these how to repair videos and say, hey, if you'd like, you can buy your parts. And this is a perfect example because they do exactly that. Okay, so let's say my dishwasher breaks. I can create content, how to fix a dishwasher, have this video display, and then down here in the summary of the article of the video for free, I can put a link to where you can go and buy those parts, right? So I feel like it's fun, aside from the simulation, to take a minute, show some of these ideas and different things that people are doing to create content and make their money through a platform like YouTube. You could also run your own ads on your own videos that display. So that's something to test and try for your business. All right, let's jump into the simulation. In Mimic Social, when you first log in, you'll see on the right-hand side the instructions tab. This instructions tab comes and goes as you please. You can click it to close it right here in the top left. Take a minute, watch this video. It'll save you at least a half hour, if not more time, as you go through the simulation. In the bottom right, just like with Mimic Pro, there's a help option. We're here to help. Aside from the help you'll also get from the Emeritus team. Okay. In Mimic Social, you are now selling bags for Bowie Supply Company. Bowie Supply Company sells a variety of bags. You can see the products and what they look like here. There's different options. Unlike with Mimic Pro, where you're selling the product, the cameras, and you know, like, this is the exact camera and this is the exact price and this is the exact margin. With Mimic Social, you just know the different varieties of bags that are available to sell, and you don't control which specific bag they'll buy or which specific bag you're going to try to get them to buy. But you know the types of bags that are for sale, and you'll see later how that works in the process. If I click the Market tab, I'm able to see the different personas that I'm trying to target. As a social media marketer, we hope that you'll start to consider who your target audience is, who your best buyers are, learn about them. In this case, Bowie Supply Company has already created different personas, people that they're trying to target. So learn about these people. And then when you create your content, think about these people and create content that you think these people will like. And go to the platforms where you think these people are spending their time. Under the Insights tab, you're able to learn more about what Bowie has already been doing on social media. You can see that on some platforms, they haven't been doing very much. Pinterest is a platform that I didn't take time to show and talk about, but for this audience, it could work pretty well. So you'll be able to test and try that within the simulation as you go round by round, see which platforms you want to allocate budget towards. In each round, you have $5,000 of budget. Each round equals 1 week, okay? And we're gonna play through a first round, so I'll walk you through the process here in a moment. You'll learn more, read more about your goals. Take time to read the content here. It's very helpful and you'll do a better job and perform better. If you're ever lost throughout the entire simulation, you'll find this instructions tab all over the place. Click that. It just opens up whatever instructions are on the side for that specific page and what you're doing, and it tells you more information. If I click to continue, I get a weekly memo from my new boss, the CMO for Bowie Supply Company. He gives me an article he'd like me to read about the metrics that matter for social media marketing. Then I click forward to the post tab and I'm able to get started creating my first post. Read, guys, take time to read about content planning. You want to have different types of content, not just all promotional. We'll talk through that now. So here's what it looks like when you go to do the work in Mimic Social. You create your first post and you choose which platform you want that post to be targeted to. Before you pick the platforms where you want your content to be placed, click the plus option. Here you'll find all of your different content choices. You can choose between ads that have been created by the Bowie Supply Company's creative department. You can choose pictures, videos, blog posts, infographics, memes, holiday advertisements, and holiday images. So let's go look at the memes for a minute. All right, so Bowie Supply Company targets college students as one of its audiences, right? One of the personas is a college student. Here's a funny thing that a college student might laugh at. He studies all night and then class is canceled. He doesn't even have to go to class. So it costs $25 to pay the creative department within the company for this content. In large organizations, that's a cost that they incur. A lot of times they'll treat the creative department as its own agency, and the agency is able to charge and prove their value in that regard. So we select this piece of content. They studies all night, class was canceled. This piece of content is going to charge $25 when we schedule this post. Okay, and we'll see that display here. I want to post this on Facebook. And so I click the Facebook option. I click to promote this post. The reason I have to promote this post on Facebook is because if I don't promote it, most likely no one on Facebook is going to even see it. Because like I said earlier, if you're not promoting your content on Facebook, it's just not being seen. I can change my audience targeting to say 18 years of age to 26. And I can say that I want this one to go to men. And this is just to say that I think that men may laugh at this and share it more than women. You could choose all genders. For this specific post, I'm going to say that I think I'm targeting up-and-comer Raj. And that's my segment that I'm going after. And I'm going to say that he's interested in college and he's interested in sports and he's interested in travel. Okay. That's the guy that I'm going after with this post. And I'm going to target him. I'm not going to put a lot of money into this post. I just want it to get a little reach. And so I'm going to give it $15. The reason I don't give it a lot of money is because there's a very low likelihood that I'll ever get any sales from a post like this because it doesn't relate to anything more than just showing a kid wearing a bag and making him think about bags. So I save this audience. I can save the audience and name it my college bro audience and click done. If I am questioning what's going on here and why I'm doing it, I can click the instructions tab. I get more information around the different things that are happening within the simulation as it relates to targeting and budget and content planning. When I'm ready, I click done, and now that is saved and it's for sure going to be posting to Facebook. Let's say I also want it to go on Instagram, and I'm going to choose, in this case, not to promote it because I feel like it's still going to get some organic reach without me paying to promote it. So I'll say done there. Now this post is ready. It's going to go on both Facebook and Instagram, and I can choose to add a comment and say, or not a comment, but I can also create content for my post, like, have you like if you've been there and done that. You gotta love when the professor cancels class. Tag a friend in the comments if you know they've been there too. Okay. My post here does a couple things. There's some call to action here. The call to action isn't, hey, go buy my bag. It's like if you've been there and done that. So if you've studied all night and class was canceled, your chances of liking this post just went way up, right? And then if you have a friend who you think will laugh at this or think it's funny, because I'm calling them to take action and tag a friend in the comments. Now I'm telling them to both like it and comment, right? So I'm giving them two different things I want them to do, and it has nothing to do with buying the product. I want this to post on Wednesday, and I want it to post at like, I'll stick with noon. But if I wanted to change the time, I could change it here. Let's go 11 a.m. We'll change it to that. Now this post is set to go at that time. I click to schedule the post, and now that $40 has been allocated. Remember, 15 went to Facebook, 25 went to creating the content. This post is now ready, and I can see that it's ready to run. It will run on both Facebook and Instagram. You guys, this is a really neat experience, and it's very real to life. Hootsuite and Buffer are two very popular and successful social media marketing management platforms where you can create content and schedule that content to display on a variety of social media marketing platforms. This is very similar to that. It's now set to run on Wednesday, October 16th. Now, when I go to create my next post, I can say Hong Kong, China. I'm going to go with this image just to be quick here. If I schedule this post, I can see that the last post I created is set to run on Wednesday. I can say, okay, well, I want to have more run on Wednesday. This one I want to run at 3 p.m. So we're running in the mid-afternoon, and I'm also going to run it on both Facebook. I'm not going to worry about promoting it for just the sake of time right now. And I'm going to run it on Instagram as well. And I am going to choose to promote it this time. I'm going to choose that audience of 18 to 30 this time. It's going to go to both genders, and it's going to go to people that like travel and people that like China and people that like Hong Kong. Right? I choose this audience here. I set a budget and I say, okay, I'm going to spend a solid $350 on this one post. Okay. I believe in this one. I think it's going to do well. So I can save this audience. It's my 18 to 30, both gender traveler. Right, I just come up with something that helps me remember who I'm actually targeting with this saved audience. And then I click done. Now I can go back. Next time I create a post, I can use that same saved audience, and I don't have to fill out all that information again every time. It's a time saver for you guys. Okay, so this first post I created was all about likes and comments. This time, it's an image of a girl. She's showing off a backpack. She's looking off into the distance in Hong Kong. Let's see. So Hong Kong in, let's start it this way. Tag a friend that you'd love to take to Hong Kong. Have you seen this black buoy bag? Comment and tell us where you've bought this, where you've been with your buoy bag recently. Okay, I'm going to schedule this post, but before I do, I've allocated a lot of money to this post, right? And there's nothing in this post that says you should buy our bags, right? And if there's nothing in the post that says they should buy our bags, and I'm going to spend $350, that's a lot of money just to get people to look at your picture, right? So in this case, it's probably good to have a call to action. Buy this bag today only for $49.99, right? Then you could have a call to action that says click the link, get free shipping and save today when you click to buy this bag, whatever you're going to say. Once you've got that, you can choose which platforms you want it to go to, add other platforms. I always, if I'm posting it to Instagram and Facebook, I usually also post to Twitter, and then I just only choose to promote on Twitter every once in a while. You have the other platforms as well here. I'm going to go without for this time, right? So I schedule that post. Okay. I've found with social media marketing that the way to succeed is to not go and to post frequently on the right platforms for the right amount of times per platform. You shouldn't post more than once a day on LinkedIn. You shouldn't post more than 2 or 3 times a day on Facebook or Instagram. And on Twitter, you may post 30 times and be okay, right? So you're still not going to get a lot of additional traffic. Well, you'll get more traffic, but at some point there's a diminishing return on every additional post that you create on each platform. So that's something to remember and know. We do simulate that diminishing return for creating just too much content. So it's about finding the balance. And then it's also about finding the balance of what's promotional content and what's non-promotional content where you're just trying to get engagement. There's multiple goals, and one of them is not just sales. It's that engagement aspect, the likes, shares, and follows. So test and try different things, get in, play around with the platform. If I click to run the simulation, it tells me, hey, so far you've only allocated $391 for your budget. There's still $4,600 available. I'm going to ignore that and not worry about the rest of it. I'll click to run the simulation anyway. At the end of round 1, you enter what's called an analysis round. So in the analysis round, you have the chance to go and look at the results and answer questions. We give you these questions and we start you here in round 2 because we want you to go and analyze the data and the results you got from your work. And this helps you know what are the right questions to be asking yourself. I've thought about adding this feature that we have in Mimic Social back into Mimic Pro because it's really good for you to be given the questions you should be asking yourself and then know where to go to get those answers. So if you click the Analytics tab, you're able to get that data, learn what's working and what's not. Okay, I spent $15 on this post. It didn't get me any conversions, but I did get 30 clicks, and my meme showed over 3,600 times. So there's some good news in that regard. Okay, let's see. I can go and look at how many shares I got on each platform. Click over here to see into each platform what's working, what's not. You'll see the days of the week where you perform better and where you don't. That's obviously in my case because I only posted on Wednesday of the week. So click through and then you'll be able to find the data and go get your questions answered over here. Once you answer your questions, then you're able to move on to the next round. So I have to come in here and fill in blanks really quick so I can simulate answers and show you moving on to the next round. I can click to submit, but I want to go back for a second. Okay, a little tool that I want you to check out and know about is the Export CSV tab. If you click here, then you're able to see how each individual post is performing. This level of data isn't something that you're going to do all the time with your social media marketing efforts. But going in and looking at your competitors, the types of content they're posting, whether it's an image, a meme, an advertisement, a video, whatever they're posting, go look and see how many likes it's getting, how many shares it's getting. You can get some of this data from your competitors, and then you can use it for your own efforts, right? So that's definitely something that I recommend doing from a perspective of your own business and your own efforts that you're working on right now. I think you'll surprise your boss if you go to him and say, hey, I actually took some time for fun and I looked at our competitor and what they're doing on YouTube, and here's what they're doing. Here's what they're doing on LinkedIn. This is what I found. Very valuable. In this case, you can use it to know who you're targeting and whether that targeting that audience is helping you perform better or worse. So sift through this data. It's worth playing around with. Okay. I'm going to open it up. 5 minutes questions here at the end, and then we will get into we'll wrap things up. So any last questions before we close out here? All right. There is a good question. Volkmar asks, Mimic Pro is our testing surrounding. To manage your social media platforms, which cockpits do you use in the real world? One of the cool things about social media is there are definitely ways that you can post content for free and see if your audience likes that content. Depending on the platform, like now you can't really get away with that on Facebook, but on Instagram, you can get away with that and you can see what your audience on Instagram likes seeing. And that can be a way to test. So Mimic Social is your little playground for the simulating social media marketing platforms. But in the real world, you just have to go and spend budget. So that's one of the greatest benefits of these simulations is that you have the budget that's not real money. You're not wasting your boss's dollars. And you also have the data that comes with that budget, right? A lot of that data allows you to learn from, and you don't have that otherwise. Someone asks, should I use the whole budget? And yes, you should. I would definitely try to use the whole budget. One cool thing, and that's different. Thank you for asking that question. You get additional budget that is saved from round to round with Mimic Social. So if you only spend $4,000, then in round 2 you have $6,000, or round 3 you have $6,000. So in Mimic Social, every odd number round, rounds 1, 3, 5, and so on, are your posting rounds where you have budget. Rounds 2, 4, and 6, and so on, are the rounds where you're just answering questions and you're not actually entering information. So, and I should say spending budget is a better way to put that. Alan asks, what metrics will be most important in round 1? They're all important. You're measured on not just sales, but also on how many likes, shares, and comments you get. So I think obviously most important is the return on ad spend, how much money you're making. But you're measured across all of those. And back at the scenario section, so in Mimic Social, let me cancel this out. If you click scenario at any time, you can go back and see the products, learn more about the market, review the insights. A question came up. Do you start with likes? And yes, you do. So Bowie Supply Company is a company that has been doing social media marketing for a while. They already have a following on different platforms. So you can see that following across the platforms. Some of them they haven't been doing anything on yet. So Bowie Supply Company hasn't used Pinterest yet. They haven't used YouTube yet. So if you want to advertise there, you can try and see what you can grow as far as your following goes, but make sure that your Facebook and Instagram audiences don't die off. You want to also be on those platforms. Another question came in. Do I need to post on all social media platforms? No. You need to spend all your money. You need to make a lot of money. You need to grow your follower and reach in the best way you know how and can. And so you may choose to just ignore some specific platforms where you don't think your audience is spending a lot of time, and that's just fine. All right, guys, that's a wrap. There's so much that we covered in the last 90 minutes. I hope it was helpful. There's a survey that's going to come out. We'd like you to review the content and the way that we taught this class today. I'd love your feedback. It helps me get better as an instructor. And so there it is in the chat. And with that, it's a wrap. We'll be in touch. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Stuart. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today.